All right, and we're back. We're gonna do the Isual and the Diablos and the Jim and the Jams and the Mike and Ikes. It's only Nightmare. It's not that exciting, I know, but hey, we're here. I couldn't think of a funny follow-up. I'm sorry. But no, I always thought like guest characters in MK kind of really just ruined it for me. Like, they just did it because they knew idiots would buy it, and that's why it's so predatory in my mind. Like, how, I mean, but it's such a smart business decision. That's the worst part. Like, on a business proposition level, what gets you more clientele, right? A game that is in a long-running franchise and has a lot of recognizable characters, and then suddenly you have no idea anything about it, but all of a sudden you see that you can play as a predator. What's so fucking, what not to love about that? It's a fucking game where you can play as Predator and tear people's heads off, like in the Predators. Why not? Right? That's actually a pretty smart, solid market decision. The problem is it came out of cynicism, and I don't like it. It eventually got out of control. Like, oh, let's put Rambo in Mortal Kombat. Rambo's a human being. It's fine if you have Jason Voorhees hacking someone's fucking head off with a machete. Okay, that's okay with me. You know why? Because Jason Voorhees is a fucking monster man. It's okay that Leatherface does it because Leatherface gets a free pass for everything. Okay, that's just, you gotta accept there's some things that I'm willing to accept as just stated fact. It's fine if Leatherface does it because he's Leatherface. But, you know, Predator, Monster Man, right? You know, fucking, what's his name? RoboCop, sure. I don't really agree with that. I don't know why they decided. I know what they were going for. They were going for 80s action movies to catch on to like dumb millennials who had never actually seen those movies before, just to fit in. I know why they did it. I'm not stupid. I know how this works from a marketing standpoint. But it's like, what the fuck? Why is Rambo... Why? I know it's because it was an 80s movie, but think about it in connection to everything else. Rambo's not a superhuman, he's a just dude. That's fucking dumb. That's like saying, have the cop that Rambo fought in Rambo 1 be a playable character. Yeah. Do it. I'd love to see it. Like, I get why they did it, you know? Like Terminator, that's fine. I don't really agree with that either. But Terminator's T-800s are like fucking monster killing machines. They're like really fucking mean, right? I get that. It takes a lot to bring down a T-800, you know? I'm okay. Oh, fuck. I'm okay with that. I really don't want to deal with this. This is so fucking bad. Like, yeah, that's fine. It's cool. But what business does a T-800 have in fucking Mortal Kombat? You could go, oh, well, actually Cyrax and stuff. Oh, but now they're gender swapped, because we're so progressive. Mind you, I'm a very progressive person, but shit like that is just pandering, and I think it's fucking lazy. But anyways, it's like, oh, and Scorpion and Sub-Zero are actually brothers now. And they kiss. Not in a gay way. They kiss. Now kiss! Yeah, I love Bihan. I love Hanzo. He didn't have a name until like 20 years into the series. Stop acting like he's your best friend because you know he has a name now. It's Scorpion, not Hanzo Hasashi. And I will have my revenge. Yeah, I went there. I ruined an actually kind of good moment in MKX. I'm quite good at that. Those things are very lightning resistant, by the way, if you don't know. Burning Souls and such are very lightning resistant. They're going to be lightning immune in hell. So, when people are like, oh, they have it because it's so cool, wouldn't it be cool? How about we have Sarah Palin and John McClane? Why not? You guys already made Shao Kahn Donald Trump. Jesus Christ. Fucking... You're gonna go 1 foot in the door, why don't you just put both feet in the door, right? Like... Shit, man, I'm just gonna say it. Right? Why don't you have... You see, this is why I hate it. Save that shit for, like, special dumb games. Don't put it in the main game, because it feels really awkward. Especially when it has nothing to do with the actual, like, go route, with the actual storyline going on. Like, you know, I hated that. That is the thing I hated about X2, is why the fuck is Jason Voorhees in this game? He has nothing to do with the story, he's just there. And I know, it's like, oh, it's a guest character. Yeah, but there's still a playable character in the roster and people are still gonna use it. You know how awkward it is that, like, Freddy Krueger was one of the best characters in MK9? Like, objectively, he was, like, the most broken zoning character next to probably Cyrax. Like, do you know how awkward that feels, that that character is this, like, character everyone's metaing in a Mortal Kombat game? Shouldn't it be, like, a character that's, you know, in the game? Like, just saying, it feels kind of weird. Not like that's a bad thing either, but it's like, you know, like Marvel vs. Capcom. I don't personally like it that much. I played it in the arcade a few times. I threw a couple of quarters in that bad boy. Okay, you know, you find the character that you think looks cool. I played as Visor Man. I don't know anything about superheroes, by the way. Because I'm a grown-up and I sleep in a race car bed. I don't sleep in a race car bed, for the record. But yeah, it's always felt so fucking awkward to, like, think about it. When you think of MK, you don't think of John Rambo fighting RoboCop. You think of ninjas. You think of ninjas fighting ninja men and pulling people's heads off, because that's Mortal Kombat, right? That's essentially the essence of Mortal Kombat, right? You can pretend it's deep all you want, but it's like with Doom. Doom is about shooting the demons as a space marine. You can put all this bullshit on top of it, and it's still the same fucking thing, and it kind of works. Like, okay, it's... Quit trying to be like, oh, I made the game mature. It's like, yeah, it's rated M for mature, but the primary demographic is like 13-year-olds going, oh, look at that shit. Okay? It's like saying that, I don't know. It's one of those things that always bugs me. It's like, no, just... See, what really burns me as well is I hate how, like, predatory the new MK is, because it's I have like a few channels I'm subbed to, so I get like the occasional notification from them about like skin rotations, and I'm like, is this really what we've reduced video games to, is just loot boxes and fucking skins and completionism? Not even completionism, just fucking like rampant obsessive compulsive weird shit. You can say, Seth, you have a holy grail spreadsheet you made in Excel on Thanksgiving because you were depressed. Yeah, that's true. But at the same time, like, Diablo 2 is a finite ending. It eventually ends, right? You know? I'm gonna eventually end this character. God damn it. Yeah, that's nice, dude. I'm busy. Hang on. Here you go. Yeah, Tyra was a fool to have trusted me. Yeah, I'm sure he was. But it's... I don't know. I don't believe in DLC being the be-all, end-all of evil with games, but it certainly has its negatives, and the negatives are quite bad. When you can spend over $100 in just cosmetics in a game, I find that really shitty. But at the same time, I don't do it, so it doesn't matter. Like, if you're dumb enough to spend like $5,000 on virtual skins, that's your own business. I used to spend $5 a month on Team Fortress 2 when I played it, but that's also because the game was free and I supported it, and it felt proper. We're gonna get to 25, and yeah, it's like cool, like that. Yeah, they were all ultimately cosmetics. That's true. But Team Fortress 2 was like the kind of like pioneer of that, and it was funny because it was a good example. Oh, I didn't drop my shit off. Fuck poop. It was kind of an early example of the microtransaction adoption. I mean, DLC existed, probably the starting DLC. And I hate when people go, expansion packs were just DLC. No, they fucking weren't, you fucking beta male. They were not the same thing. Expansion packs had to be released on either half or close to half of retail price in stores. You could not get away with selling DLC in stores. That's not how it works. So, keep trying. But they're not the same thing. Like, not even close. The first... God damn it! The first game I can think of that consciously had DLC was probably... I want to say it was Oblivion. I'm pretty sure it was Oblivion or BioShock. It was one of the two. I know for a fact Oblivion was cited as the first. Whether or not that's true, I'm willing to believe it. And it was the Horse Armor DLC. I'm 99% certain that was the first DLC ever to coin the term. And it was like $5. And yeah, it was garbage. And yeah, I bought it. Shut up. So... Well, okay, Violaire was actually pretty fucking sick. For a console player, of course. You gotta remember, I wasn't a PC gamer at this time. Violaire was pretty sick, because you had an instant cure for vampirism, you had a training dummy for melee, you had infinite poison apples, you could spread infamy, you know, stuff like that. Here's the thing, I wouldn't call Shivering Isles DLC. It was an expansion, full stop. It came out in stores on a CD, like, for, what, 40 bucks? It was either 40 or 30. It was actually a pretty, like, decently priced expansion, because you basically got an entire fucking game. So, like, yeah, that's an expansion, right? But for me personally, I don't want these things to be here while I'm putting numbers into my other numbers. Go away. Like, for me personally, I think cosmetics are entirely optional, and they fall into that category. Okay, that explains why we haven't been opening things. Cosmetics, like skin packs, they don't mean anything. Like, they flat out do not mean anything. But what I miss was in older games, when unlocking skins was a sign of playing progression rather than you forked out shitloads of money. And you can say it's still the same concept, but yeah, why would you spend money on something you should already have in the game? That's really dumb in my opinion. I don't understand that kind of concept. It really fucks with my brain. Like, cool, here's the MK2 Classic Melina skin. Remember this? Why don't you do Melina's alternate outfit from fucking Deception? Oh wait, you guys won't, because you don't want to admit that the game had slight raunchiness to it at one point in time, because you're a bunch of fucking cowards. And Ed Boon's like, oh, I remember there was that fucking heinous amount of DLC that was in MK1, or MK11, and someone called Ed Boon out on Twitter, which I don't believe in this shit anyways, but it's still really funny. And he was like, there's no such thing as that much DLC in the game. Except there totally was. And I'm like, God damn it, Ed, how do you not know it? You're the fucking lead developer of this game, you fucking asshole. Granted, he might not have known. I'm not gonna sit here and say he was just bluffing out of his ass, because Ed Boon's actually a pretty solid dude. Like, but you know what's really funny? Is when you listen to Ed Boon talk about MK, he's like, dude, it's just a game about punching people in guts. Like, but he's also a very solid fucking coder. You know, that's the thing, is Ed Boon has always been a very solid coder. If you look at old interviews, he's very fucking thorough, and he's, well, thorough to where there was broken shit. Unintentionally. But that was not something that... You know, I give Ed Boon and like, John Tobias and stuff a lot of breaks. When they made MK, it was a very new market. So when people are like, oh, well, how is this balanced? It's not. MK3 and UMK3 are some of the most unbalanced fighting games on the planet. And yes, I know how to play them, and I don't like it. It doesn't feel fun. Like, it's just not a fun game. And you can be like, oh, well, it's because you're bad at it. And I'm like, no, it's the same problem with RuneScape PvP. The only people that play it still are so fucking ridiculously, like, turbo version good that it's just like you're not going to stand a chance. There's no way of getting entry level. Do you know how run pressure works? Do you know how jab pressure works? Do you know how the fucking frame data in the game works? It's a lot more complex, and even though it's on a very simple engine, there is so many quirks to MK3 and UMK3. It's a lot more than I pick Scorpion and throw Spear. Why would you do that? Scorpion's terrible. Pick Smoke. Or sorry, pick Human Smoke or Smoke. And you see, that's the problem. MK3 is extremely unbalanced. And when I say 3, I just mean all of like Trilogy. Trilogy even more so. Trilogy is probably one of the most unbalanced fighting games ever created by a human being. And it's fucking great. I don't even talking about just noob Cybots high kick, high kick, high kick, high kick combo. There's a lot more shit wrong with that game than that. The frame rates, like, what is it, like 20 frames faster? So shit just doesn't connect properly when it shouldn't. There's so many fucking infinite juggles in that game that are unintentional. Like, the little extra moves they gave characters, like, oh my god, the torpedo dive for Kung Lao is just so goddamn fast. Or, sorry, MK2 Kung Lao. Kung Lao by default doesn't have it. Oh fuck, what else? Rain's fucking Infinite is so easy to pull off in that game. Like, the roundhouse kick bubble move, that works on a person, by the way. It's kind of harder to pull off on a real person because they'll expect it. Like, see, that's the thing, is you can pull it off on a computer 9 times out of 10 because you can manipulate the computer in RNG. Pulling it off on a human being, way different. That's why when people are like, oh, X-ray attacks, I'm like, dude, fucking X-ray attacks are not that good. Okay, they're not bad. So let me tell you a little story about X-ray attacks in Mortal Kombat, okay? Because you're probably like, I like the X-ray attacks because the man gets his balls punched in and he fucking vomits everywhere. That is the fucking worst I mean worst as in like viscerally awful to look at as a man. Noob Saibot's X-ray in 9 was goddamn repulsive, and that's one of the few things in the whole game that's ever made me go, ugh. It's true, it's... Oh no, I fucking don't think so. You have a small cock. There we go. So it's like... Yeah, dude, fucking... Oh, give me my fucking real weapon. That asshole cursed at me. He said racial slurs, and I'm not okay with it. It's like X-ray moves everyone that's a dum-dum, okay, who's never played like against a human being in Mortal Kombat because they're too afraid because they think it's all toxic, which it kind of isn't. Kind of. You hear how I talk about it? Does it really sound like the people that play the game against other people are toxic? If they are, just fucking call them fat, sweaty bitches, and they won't talk to you ever again because they don't expect you to say it. So it's like, just say, "Oh, you're a fat idiot," and then they won't care, right? So it's like, just do that, anyways. So like when people are like, "Oh, X-ray attacks are super cool. I love the X-ray attacks." What did I get? What'd I get? What's my rune? Hell rune. Yuck. That's not really perfect, but it's high for Nightmare, I guess. See, we're making good time on Diablo, so that's all I really care. But it's like... So X-ray attacks are, what, 100% bar? Yeah, 100% meter. Why were you holding 100% meter out for a 45% combo you could easily do with just an everyday startup move? Do you know how wasteful that actually is in terms of match progression? Do you know that you should be using your meter? I mean, X-rays are fine if you want to get, like... If you've been turtling and you're getting your ass kicked, and you can pull it if you can pull it off, but you always have to remember, the people that have played these games, like, for realsies, they don't watch the endings and then just say, I played the game. No, they actually play against human beings and learn the combos and meta. You know what combos and such follow up into X-rays, so it's like Sector's in MK9. Sector's not a very bad character in 9. He's okay, but like Sector's X-ray required a teleport. So if someone saw that you had meter and you could do an X-ray, and you all of a sudden you've been hoarding your meter and not and not doing a whole lot with it, and you have X-ray, and you've had it for like a few seconds, and as soon as someone sees the animation of you hitting the ground as Sector, they know that you're doing your X-ray, they're gonna block it, and you just wasted fucking tons of potential for match victory. That's why it's a problem. Now, granted, there is some... This is the problem, is there's a lot of utility with X-ray. Like, it could be used to extend combos. Like, you could get, like, I mean, the damage scaling. So if I remember correctly, every X-ray started at 45%. So 45%, and it takes about maybe 20 or 30% of your opponent's life to get there. It would have been a really satisfying power move, but like I said, your opponent anticipates it. You understand what they're doing. A computer doesn't give a shit what you're doing. They're just doing random inputs based on, like, distance checks. So it's very easy to pull off X-rays on computers. So it's like, against a human being, I just don't think that's a good idea. Like, let's say Reptile, for example. Reptile and MKX had a pretty okay, like, you slid forward, so you'd actually end a combo by moving forward with armor, and that was actually pretty damn good, right? So, like, you could anticipate that to get a little bit extra push if you felt like your combo was whiffing. And you're like, ah, shit, and you could, if you were on the ground, you could easily do it, right? If you had your opponent and they didn't have a breaker, you could fucking easily get like an extra 10 points of damage off if you didn't really have a good combo going. That's the kind of shit that X-rays are good for. But it's still, like, you could totally turn. That's all, I can't stress it enough. This is why I actually enjoy MK more than other fighting games, is because every match I've ever played, depending on, like, skill level of the opponent, it always feels like an MK round, a good MK round, you've got, like, 1 or 2 hits left each, and it's just fucking coming down to the wire. That is, like, my favorite thing about competitive-ish MK. It's like, that's why you play against a human being. You don't get that against a computer. I mean, you can. I don't doubt that. But, like, holy fuck. Like, that feeling of, wow, this is really goddamn close each time is such a satisfying feeling. That's why people like fighting games. It's the thrill of beating your opponent through dexterity, like in an actual fight. And that's why it's enjoyable. Well, everyone has a different reason, that's why I like it. But it's like MK games, you are always gonna have, like, for me personally, it always feels that like that, you know. You have, like, 1 hit left. You're in danger, for fuck's sake. That's kind of why I don't like brutalities, because brutalities could auto-level that out, and I just don't like that, because it basically says, you have enough health, you're basically dead. And I get it, you know, that shit happens. It just keeps the match from dragging out seconds longer than it actually needs to be, and that's true. You know, you don't want the match to go on for fucking ever. What's this? Ooh. That would have been a really good one if you're playing a Javazon, or Spearzon, by the way. For me personally, though, I love that about MK. I don't get that from Street Fighter. I don't understand Street Fighter. I think Street Fighter is more about parrying. And even then, I don't think I'm correct. I don't know enough about Street Fighter competitive to understand it. I've watched a little bit of it at EVO online a few times, and I don't really get it. But I will say this, Street Fighter has more variations of character types. And I think that MK sorely has never been able to really latch onto that. Like, you have grapplers, like Jax. Jax has always been a grappler. Like, since MK2, Jax has always been a fucking grappler, okay? That's just... Ooh! I want to roll that later. I want to fuck you like an animal. That's not how the song goes. I know it's a song by 9 Inch Nails. I'm not that stupid. Oh my god, look at all these jabs. I want to look at it to show you what it is, because I'm actually interested too. I want to fuck you like an animal. Yeah, see, I mean, you don't need to get these sorts of super weapons. You can still consistently get half-decent things. Why do I still have this? This is shit garbage. I like how I said earlier in the series, it's fine. It's shit garbage. Damn it, I'm not 64 yet. Fuck, I want it. Oh, I could use this. Get this shit off of here. Fuck ColRes. There we go. I'm sure this is going to come back to bite me in the ass, so I'll put that there. Yeah, it might, but oh well. It's more poison damage. You going to complain about more poison damage? What are you, an idiot? Maybe. I can't tell. What's your opinion on Mortal Kombat X-Rays? Then we'll find out who the idiot is. Not really. I don't care that much. You see, I get people enjoy games for different reasons, but when you enjoy games at a higher skill ceiling, like, you know, there's people out there that have probably just never finished Diablo 2 on Hell. They'll never go for hardcore rune grinding. They'll never go for, like, endgame rune words and shit. And you know what? I think you're missing out. But if that's how you want to play the game, I don't really give a shit. We still played the same game, okay? We still both played Diablo 2, right? We both played... I don't know, but then that's the thing, is there's some people like me that are very into learning complexities in games and trying to, like, break them or just exploit them to the most degree. It comes from playing games like this in RuneScape for so many years. So, can't help it. Hey look, it's Diablo. He's the Lord of Terror, don't you know? He's like the name of the game. And he's dead as fuck. Okay, so... I don't know what that is. That's actually kind of interesting. I'll take that. Yeah, what else? I'm kind of interested in those greaves, because I want some magic fine greaves. I'll come back for those. I knew there was potential in you, hero. I know. Grave Spine. Really good Necro Wand. Do I have that? I'm sorry if you guys don't like when I bring this up, but I'm really tempted because I'm not going to remember to do it. I don't have this. That's cool. Neato. So yeah, I do have Grave Spine marked off now. Cool. I haven't found that yet. I've wanted to make a Twinked Necro eventually. I'm not doing a Necro from scratch. You can't pay me enough. I'm sorry. Maybe. I don't like it that much. Do I have I do. I could do it. I know I can't. Oh fuck. I'm afraid you're just too darn broad. Alright, let's see what we got. I want some good boots. That's not good boots. That's just gross. Ugh. Those are also pretty grody. Let's go to Hogwarts. Yay, we can go to Hogwarts. Cool. And we'll get 22. Alright. I don't know how much strength I should pump. I'm going to get up to 200 dex first, and then we'll worry about it. But yeah, we're in Act 5. Yay! I'm going to take a break, render these out, and then I'll be back for Act 5 later in the day. So I'll see ya in the next one.
Die. Time to die. Die.